frosting just keeps getting skimpier. Productions presents. Here we are, back with more server work to do. The main point of this is going to be to upgrade this, which right now, as you can see here, looks as such. It's running Windows 8.1 with VirtualBox. There's a CPU, 32 gigs of RAM that's not totally used. But the problem is that VirtualBox no longer supports Windows 8.1, and I'd like to move this over to Proxmox VE anyway, because really there's no reason for it to stay on Windows. In order to do this, first of all I need the replacement hardware, which I have sitting around here somewhere. I'm going to replace, let's see here, if we come in here, that obviously is going to be replaced with a different disk because I'd like to keep that disk. And this is going to get replaced with another drive. I'm hoping, probably use this as the boot disk. And then I'm hoping, even though this has an X on it, that this actually works. And we'll use that. If not, I have this one. I'll put that one in there. I don't really need a 500, but I'm going to put it in there anyway. So, again, this is my all SSD system. Everything in here is an SSD, and it will continue to be that way. The reason why the hard drive is there is because I needed all that storage, and it's for backups. So, but additionally to that, I'm going to have to transfer all of the virtual machines that are running on this over to another Proxmox VE box, and it's going to be this one. At least that's the hope, is that it's going to be this one. Okay, so here we are, and the problem I'm having is this right here. This backup 3 is pretty much full, but if I try to make another backup, that's only got one machine on it. It'll load here. That's this. And if I try to make another one, and I have tried making more, it just fails because there's not enough storage space. So I'm going to remove this data store. I can come to the directory, and I can remove this directory. And that should get rid of the mount without reformatting the drive. Okay, here we are inside the beast. So the new drive is going to go here. The new one that I'm adding, the 1.5. I think the one that I need to pull is this, but I'm going to verify that. So as it turns out, it wasn't that drive. That drive is this drive now, and this is the one that I had to pull. So I've changed the order, so that way, hopefully now the order of drives as installed here is reasonably close to correct. I know that there's going to be the one drive up here, but oh well, there's not much I can do about that. I'm not rearranging all these drives just for that. Okay, I've put these in. I have not screwed that 40 terabyte drive in yet because I don't know if it's good. But this is in place and all of the cables are in place. Oh. So we'll fire it up. Hopefully it will boot and won't give me a smart error. Okay. Alright, what's going on? Okay, had a drive that lost its power cable for no reason. The boot drive disappeared, I don't know why. This should hopefully work a little better. But I bet it won't. Yeah, there we go. That's more like it. And yes, I know it's a skew, that's a problem with this monitor. I don't know why it's doing that. So let that start, and then we'll go to the web console and configure all this new stuff. Okay, here we are. So I should be able to come down to storage and disks. And there's this. This is the one new drive. These are backwards, so that's quality. Let's check this. This one looks alright. It's a 40 terabyte drive in size. I'm going to wipe it. I'm going to initialize it. Both of these. SDE is the other one. 1.5 terabytes. We'll come to directory, we'll create. Actually, this was XFS, I think. We'll just leave it the same. Add it as a data store. Create. No error messages on the console. And there it is. So there's this. I have to make sure that all the prune and every other job is still here. Oh, garbage collect job got deleted. So this I should be able to set back where it was. We'll set it back to 5 and I'll adjust it later. This will set. The verified job is there, so that should be just fine. And on this, I'm going to have to do the same thing. I'll have to do that. We'll set it to that, just why not. I'll have to add a prune job. Keep the last 5. Hourly is probably fine. I don't think it really matters. And we'll add a daily verification. And there we go. So there's that. Those are now finished. Let's go to the web console of that machine right there. Add the new drive, and then I'm going to actually go to the console of this machine. And I'm going to run a backup. I just make sure that it's mounted properly. Okay, so that's there. It looks like it's showing up just fine, no problems. So I need to come in, and I don't know where that would actually be. Probably on the actual virtual machine itself. I can click it here. Go to backup. Actually, no, I don't want to do that, because that's going to go to a drive that I don't want it to go to. So we'll do this one. This is the one that I want. So we'll run it. And so that should now back up. Okay, now we're on the other machine. I'm going to go to, oops, not backup, but to storage, add, Proxmox backup server. We'll call it temp, because it is temporary. I'll have to put in the rest of the details. The backup is backup 5. And I'll have to put in the username, the password, and the server fingerprint. Okay, there it is. Showing up in the list, connected, working fine. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this backup job. I'm going to edit it. Instead of selection mode all, I'm going to go include selected, and I'm just going to select them all. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want this set to go where it's going now, but I'm going to have a new set of them that are going to be from this machine that are going to go on there, and they're going to back up to here to that new drive, just to keep them separate, because I don't think there's enough space on this volume for all of them, and I want to keep them separate anyway. So we'll do that. and I'm going to actually do some transfers on video. So I'll be right back thanks to the magic of video editing. Now I'll show you how I'm going to do that, because there's a new method that I'm going to try in order to transfer from VirtualBox to Proxmox. Alright, here we are. Now, this is the old system, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pick one of these that's simple to do. So we'll do this one. So what I need to do is actually quite simple. I need to go ahead and shut this down. Just power it off. It doesn't need to run. Then I need to open up something where I can transfer the VDI directly. I have this. I need to come into... So we'll come back to this. I'm going to show it in the Explorer. Here it is. There's one disk. There's no anything I need to worry about. So we'll copy that. And it's a relatively small disk, so this process shouldn't take too long. Go ahead and we'll just paste it in there. While that's going on, I want to check, okay, it's Intel network with EFI, 2 processor cores, no secure boot, no TPM, no weird stuff, and a SATA hard drive. Okay. So we'll come over to the server here, which is probably going to make me log in again. Well, it didn't. We'll create a new VM. Give it a name. We are not going to use any media. It is Linux. We're going to call it a Q35. I'll set this to standard VGA. Not that I think it really makes much of a difference. This is UEFI. Storage, we're going to use the one that's lightly loaded. No pre-enrollment of keys, that's your secure boot. I will go ahead and enable the QEMU agent. I don't really care about the SCSI because I'm not going to use it. Disks. We'll set it to something. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day what it is. Because we're going to be deleting it anyway. So that should all be okay. We're looking at 2 cores. I'll have to find one of these to use. I don't know which one is the best one. I guess we'll just choose that. 2 gigabytes of memory. The network should be Intel. Automatic MAC address. Actually, I'm not going to use the automatic MAC address. What I am going to do is I'm going to steal the MAC address off of this. So that is this right here. Hopefully copying and pasting that works. It did. Of course, I'm going to have to correct it. There we go. We will confirm that. I'm not going to start it, and it should create that. Okay, the file is here. I'm going to rename it just so that it's there, so that it's easier to get it onto the other machine. So then I come here, and the way that this works, or the way that this is going to work, is a couple of things that I need to do. I do need to change this, so that way that is set to this. I am going to delete this, just get rid of it, because it's useless anyway. And I'm going to, not on that, I'm going to open up a console from here. So what I need to do is I need to get this onto this machine. And the way that we're going to do that is with a wget. You could do anything. You could do SCP, you could do FTP, you could do all kinds of other things. Alright. So now that we've got that going, that transfer is going to take however long it's going to take. I don't know how long that's going to be right now. Okay, with that done, now we need to work our magic. We want to import a disk. We're going to import it to virtual machine with ID number 201. Oh, what the heck? Command completion on this isn't working, as you can clearly see. We're going to import it to that storage. Let's see what happens. There we go. So that is now imported successfully. I can get rid of that. We come to this. If it'll let me click on it, we can come to it, and there we can see unused disk. We want to attach that to SATA 0. We come to our boot options, boot order. We'll add it up at the top. And now, in theory, we should be able to start this. Why? Okay, so typical Debian broken UEFI install strikes again. So we'll try this method of doing this. Nope, that method isn't going to work. So we're going to have to do it this way. Go back in. Start that. Do this. And it should work. I'll have to log in here. Go ahead and we'll just reinstall on this. Let it do its thing here. In theory, we'll let it do its thing here. Okay. We'll do that. And we'll reboot. Now it should work, hopefully. There we go. So that's fixed. Now I gotta do that with all the others. But the other thing I have to do here is I'm going to have to add it to my backup plan. Just like that. So, you know what they say, second verse same as the first for all the rest of these. Okay, I think it's probably high time I got on with it, with this here. So, I've got everything off of here that I need to get off of here, and I have all the virtual machines transferred to that one disk, which is also going to get pulled and replaced. That way I have the boot drive and all of the VMs if I ever have to go back to this setup for some reason, which I highly doubt a reason for that exists. But we're going to go ahead now and shut it down. Really quickly, just because I want to get some power usage figures while it's running. For what we've got, now that you can read that. But you could probably get an idea. For what's going on. It's at the desktop right now. Still reading off the disk. So, shut it down. Okay, it's powered off. So again, you can kind of get an idea there. Okay, cover's off and everything's unplugged. Wait a minute, why is everything unplugged? That's because I'm going to change this motherboard. At the same time, I'm going to take out the boot drive, which is this, right here. Take out that data drive. And take out that board. And in its place, I'm going to install this. It's another one of these. And that should be a nice little upgrade for this. Meanwhile, this is going to end up in that right there, which needs a RAM upgrade. And this is a better CPU than what's in there, if only marginally anyway. Now, there it is, the spaghetti mess that is the new setup. Everything's all plugged in, except for the new drives. Those are the two old ones. Boot disk, data disk. New boot drive is exactly the same. I'm going to try this as the replacement data drive. Yes, I know it's got an X on it, but I don't think that there's really a problem with it at all. Okay, I believe that we are now in shape fit for power up. Two new drives are installed, cabled up. 32 gigs of RAM, so no loss on that. I'm going to slap the side panel on, and we'll power it up. Go into the BIOS, see what things are doing. I'm going to update the BIOS on this because there is an update available and I might as well install it. That will install Proxmox and get all that set up. Okay. I can't actually reach the power switch on the back of this. Here we go. Sounds like there's something in the CPU fan. So that's great. There wasn't when I put the cover on, so that's quality. And where's my power on self-test? What a surprise. Everything works until I put it in here. Good. That's high quality. Well, after a fashion, here we are. I don't know what it was with the RAM. I'm guessing it was the RAM, but now it's working. Hopefully it stays working. And apparently this drive actually is dead. It just doesn't show up on the bus at all. So that's worthless. Kind of surprising. It's a brand new drive. In fact, it's actually kind of ridiculous. But let's start the easy flash. There's the file. I want to update the BIOS. Hopefully it gets all the way through this without crashing. Okay. BIOS update completely. Whatever you say. So power's off. Power's on. It does take these boards a little bit longer to post. But it shouldn't take like 200 minutes. So please enter setup to recover settings. All the disks are there. It's So what we'll do, in fact, actually the other thing I'm going to do, I lost it, I don't know where, there it is. Plug in my USB stick for Proxmox VE. And I'll set all these settings. Alright. Should be good now. Can hear it doing some things. Here's my post beep that I'm expecting. UEFI OS Santis Cruiser Edge. What the heck? Okay, I don't know why it rebooted. But the UEFI implementation? That's my guess. Okay, whatever. We'll go for a terminal. I don't really think I need anything else. Let's do what it needs to do. It should get an IP address. Oh, well, it won't if it's not plugged in. Please don't time out. I think it timed out. Now, well, that's going to the right disk, at least. Let's just make sure. Yeah, make sure that's normal. Next. I don't know why it picked the German keyboard layout. Whatever. Okay. Here we go. Ready to install. Here now it's doing things. And that shouldn't take too long. I did have to reboot it twice, because the first time it didn't pick up a network address because I forgot to plug in the cable, and then I forgot that I also have to change the MAC address on my DHCP reservation. So, that's all done now. Okay, reboot now. Pull that. It should just start without any intervention. I installed it in UEFI mode because, I mean, you've got it, you might as well just use it. Okay. So, a couple of things I need to configure right out of the gate. There's no clusters, no anything there. Options, don't think there's anything there. I will need to come in here and add the backup server. Okay, so that's added. I'll deal with the rest of the stuff later. I'll deal with the backup later once this is configured. Metric server. We have an InfluxDB metric server. So again, I'm going to have to put all that information in. Okay, so that's configured and working. Now, disks. Let's get the disks figured out. First things first, I have to wipe them all. Easy process. Come into directory. We're going to create. Standard. And I'll do the same thing for all of them. Okay. Let's see if it works now. Or if moving it has managed to break it. don't know why this is half off the screen. It should be okay. It is booting. So I'll go ahead and I'll throw this back. And we'll get back to doing the work that we were doing. Okay, so this is our temporary host. Although I forgot one important detail. And it is that I need to configure the repositories. I know I don't have a valid subscription. I need the no subscription. I'll do the same thing for the Ceph no subscription. And I am going to find, if I can find them, disable the enterprise versions because I don't need them. Go ahead and we'll refresh the package lists. I'll have to run updates on this because there's a lot of them to do, as you can see there. I might as well get them done before moving anything over to this, because I'm going to have to reboot the machine to fully install these anyway. Okay, it should be good to go now, and ready to start the process of moving these over. So, I'll start with the first one here. We'll go ahead and we will shut it down. Change the option. Well, actually, before I change the option, I'm going to run a backup. That is the wrong place to run the backup. It's supposed to be here. Okay, backup concluded. Then we come to the options. I'm going to change the start at boot, turn that off. Come back to the other box here. Here's this. We come to backups. This is the most recent one. I'm going to restore it. It's going to go there. It'll get that as its VM ID. Everything there is fine. Should be fine. We'll restore it. Okay, that should have succeeded. So we'll just make sure the option is set right. We'll start it. In theory, this should just run without any issues. Okay, it's there, it's running. So now what I can do, as the camera tells me it's running on a battery, I can remove it from here. Now I gotta do that for all of them. Alright, so now everything here is running. So all that I should have to do is delete this last one from here. My mouse is having some difficulty. Come here to the backup. Well, the task is gone. And I can go ahead and remove this. I don't need it on here any longer. And that should be pretty much it for that. Now onto the other machine. Okay, so I've got it decabled now. This should be easy, because what's going in is essentially the same as what's coming out. Okay, it's in there. That was an unnecessary pain, mostly because of all the stupid wires in the way. But it should be ready to go now. The only thing I will have to do is I'll have to change the, once again, DHCP information will have to change, but that's not a big deal. Okay, now, how much do you want to bet this is not going to work? Hey, there's a beep. Okay, we do have the right address. I don't really want to PXE boot the machine, so this should simply start up without any intervention. Nope, it's not starting up without any intervention. Wonder if maybe that's why I had the thing set up the way I had it set up. Or maybe I just need to change the boot options. These things have a problem with boot options rearranging themselves, so I don't know how much good that's going to actually do. But it looks like it did some good. It's going to do its little configuration ditty. Reboot again. And one interesting thing that I'll have to see is, does the mouse work? Because I found a pin that was bent in the mouse cable, which probably explained why it wasn't working, and now it is working. So let me put the cover on and do all the work I need to do on this. Okay. Let's see, does this actually have the auto start script running? No. Not that it really matters. We'll fire everything back up. Probably cause a problem for that disk, but whatever. 'Cause it's only got the one drive. Here you can see we've now got a 4790. You can hear slightly faster, maybe a slightly better CPU, but not really much to see there. And that's pretty much going to do it for the video anyway. There's not much else I can think of to say, so thank you for watching, and if you've got any comments, feel free to leave them below.